I finished my first day's ride from Ooty to Madikeri at a place called Kushalnagar. This place is about 200 kilometers from Ooty, and from here to Madikeri it is about 30 kilometers. I spent the night here and the next day. The main reason was to go to a place called Bailakupe, where there is a Tibetan monastery and a golden temple, the Namdroling Monastery. After Dharamshala in Himachal Pradesh, Bailakupe is the second largest Tibetan settlement in India. Based on publicly available government statistics, about 70,000 people of Tibetan origin are staying in Bailakupe. So the Tibetan people have established a large monastery called the Namdroling Monastery, and associated with it is a huge temple. Officially it is the Padmasambhava Buddhist Vihara. Locally it is called as the Golden Temple. So my primary objective of staying at this place is to visit the Namdroling Monastery. Apart from Namdroling, I went to few other places. One is the Kaveri Nisargadhama, which is the island kind of landscape formed by the two tributaries of the Kaveri River. Next is the Chiklihole Reservoir and Dam. Apart from this, there is one more huge tourist attraction at Kushalnagar, which is the Dubare elephant camp, but I couldn't go there. You should go to that place early in the morning, and after visiting the monastery and the Kaveri Nisargadhama, it was already noon. So instead of Dubare, I went to Chiklihole Reservoir and Dam. So these are the three places I visited on that day, and these are the three places which I am showing in this video vlog. So on the right side is the Namdroling Nyingmapa Monastery. This is the main entrance to the monastery, I guess, but tourists do not have entry here. This is mainly for the monks and the nuns, the students of the monastery. According to my limited understanding of Buddhism, Tibetan Buddhism is unique, and that too can be divided into 4 different groups based on the traditions they follow. One among the 4 most traditional groups is Nyingma. This monastery, the Namdroling Nyingmapa Monastery, is considered as the largest monastery in the world for the people believing in the Nyingmapa tradition. So this is the Tibetan settlement at Bailakupe, and most of the population around this place are people of Tibetan origin. It was in the 1960s that the then government of Karnataka gave this land for a Tibetan settlement. A large number of Tibetan people who migrated to India from about 1959 onwards have settled down at this place, start monasteries, schools, hospitals, businesses and so on. This is the main entrance of the Namdroling Monastery for the tourists and visitors. In Tibetan language, the monastery name is also called Tekchok Namdrol Shedrub Dargeling. Now I'm not sure if the pronunciation is right. This here is the main tourist attraction in the Nyingmapa Monastery. This monastery in India was established by the 11th head of the Paleol Monastery that is located in Tibet. The person's name is Kyabje Drubwang Padma Norbu Rinpoche. Once again, I'm not sure the pronunciation is right. Now, the Paleol Monastery is one among the 6 mother monasteries for the people believing in the Nyingmapa tradition. So, the 11th head of Paleol Monastery, also called Penor Rinpoche, came to India in 1959 and established this monastery in 1963. The main Buddhist temple inside the monastery compound is called the Padmasambhava Buddhist Vihara. For the locals, it is also called the Golden Temple, probably because the ornamentation of the temple is in gold color. I'm not sure if it is real gold or gold coated or just colorful ornamentation in gold color. This Buddhist temple was inaugurated in 1999 and it is huge. Now, I have been to several Buddhist temples in my travels before, like in Darjeeling, then when I went to Nepal, then Sikkim, then again Dharamshala in Himachal Pradesh. And almost at all these places, the unique element of a Buddhist temple is the rotating prayer wheel. But in this temple at Namdroling, I could not find even one single Buddhist prayer wheel. Now I'm not sure if it is hidden somewhere or if it is I couldn't see it, I just missed it, or there is some other reason for it not being there when I went to that place. I just can't remember seeing one single Buddhist prayer wheel that was almost everywhere in most of the Buddhist temples that I visited in the past. Also, in most of the other Buddhist temples that I've been to, I've seen one religious artifact called Vajra. That too was not present in this place. There is also the paintings of the dragon, which was also not here. I'm not sure of the reasons for their absence, but I'm guessing that the Nyingmapa tradition is mostly different from the traditions followed by other Buddhist groups, mainly seen in North India. Now that is just my guess, I'm not sure about it. There is a odd chance that I missed seeing the Buddhist prayer wheel, the Vajra, and the dragon painting. Anyway, these are the things to see if you come to Namdroling Monastery. Apart from that religious element of the Golden Temple, we can also see a replica of the Palul Monastery that is located in Tibet. As I said before, it was the 11th head of Palul Monastery that established this Namdroling Monastery in India. And Palul Monastery is one among the 6 main monasteries of the Nyingmapa tradition. Palul Monastery, I think, was established in Tibet in around 1665. But in and around 1960s, from what I know, from my knowledge, from my limited understanding of what happened, there was a cultural revolution in China. And in that cultural revolution, which went on for about 10 years, most of Palul Monastery was destroyed. But anyway, in 2009, it was, I think, reconstructed or re-inaugurated. Anyway, these are the things that you can see if you come to Namdroling Monastery. The main thing is the Golden Temple, the Padmasambhava Buddhist Vihara. And outside this main monastery compound, most of the surrounding areas are populated by people of Tibetan origin that I said before. And I guess this is about 3,000 acres or so. The initial government land given for the settlement was about 3,000 acres. So these Tibetan people have established several businesses like restaurants and so on. So if probably there is an odd chance that you get Tibetan food around here, but when I went to a few restaurants, there was nothing over there. It was only Indian food that I could see. After visiting Namdroling, the second place I went to was the Kaveri Nisargadhama. Now this is on the main road itself. It is like an island, a kind of land formed between 2 tributaries of the Kaveri River. This is maintained by Karnataka Forest Department, and to reach that island, to that landscape surrounded by the 2 tributaries of Kaveri River, you cross this wooden bridge, this hanging bridge. And the total area of this island formation, I guess, is about 60 acres or so. So it is a huge landscape, and it's mostly preserved in its natural surroundings, that forest kind of atmosphere. This place looks like it is recently opened because the bridge seems to be brand new, but on the side there is another bridge, I think probably the older bridge. I think this was opened in 1989. So this is the older bridge which was used to cross from one end of the river to the other end. The river is also not very big. It is a very narrow river, not very deep, I think, very shallow river, the Kaveri River. The other side there is also another tributary of Kaveri River which is also very shallow, so you can take a bath, you can go into the river itself. The approach to the place is also very easy because it is very near to the main road, that is very near to Kushalnagar town itself. So you don't have to go too much interior roads to reach the place. Now this is the other end of this island formation, the second tributary of Kaveri River. This is a very shallow river, and I think there is not much water because it is the end of summer season. I went there at around the end of June, and it has not started raining, so there was very little water in the river. This place is preserved in its natural setting, very forest-like atmosphere, and since it is very much approachable, very easily accessible, I think there are a lot of tourists coming to this place. On the day I went, I saw a lot of tourists, much more than that I saw at the Namdroling Monastery, and one reason was that it was a weekend. There is very less artificial infrastructure like constructions or anything at this place, although it is maintained as a park, it is developed as a park for people to come and enjoy the place. Now inside this park, I think there is a possibility for accommodation, like for staying at this place. Like the tourists who come to this place can stay here in bamboo huts and cottages built by the forest department. I'm not sure about the cost of accommodation, but from what I can understand from a few people at this place was that it is slightly cheap. It is not very high. It is about 1000 rupees per night for a cottage. In my opinion, that is not too high a cost for a one night stay. It is similar to a low budget hotel in most of the places. Also, I'm not sure if there are any kind of extra services apart from accommodation, like room service or any other things. But I think there is some elephant rides and safaris. There was something written over there when I went inside, but I couldn't find any. So if you come to Kaveri Nisargadhama, I think there is possibility that you can spend almost an entire day here, because the place is huge. It is about 60 acres. It is kind of having a very beautiful atmosphere, a forest kind of atmosphere, a good picnic spot. But I stayed there for only about half a day, and the next place I'm going to is the Chiklihole Reservoir and Dam. Now, when I started the day, the place where I wanted to go was another place. It is the Dubare Elephant Camp. That is a very popular tourist destination at Kushalnagar. I think it was at this place, that at Dubare Elephant Camp, that the elephants for the Mysore Dasara festivals were being trained. But that was in the olden times, not anymore, I think. Now the elephants, I think, are mainly used for jungle rides and safaris for the tourists coming to that place. Now, I didn't go to Dubare Elephant Camp because from what I came to know, it is best to go to Dubare Elephant Camp early in the morning, because there is an entry fee and it is slightly high, I think. I think it is about 600 rupees per person. So within that entry fee, there are some kind of activities like elephant rides or something else, like seeing the elephants being treated and all that. So you should go there early in the morning. After going to Namdroling Monastery and Kaveri Nisargadhama, it was almost towards the afternoon, and so I am going to Chiklihole Reservoir Dam. Now this is the entry to the dam. There is a forest official here, there is a barrier here, and from here onwards I think it is forest. There is no populated areas going on further. So this road is simply going to, or this road is going to the Chiklihole Dam site alone. This road is just for that. But the reason for me going to this place is that when I saw the map, there was one road which goes through interior areas, like mostly forested areas, but going towards Madikeri. So you can go through these interior roads and get to Madikeri. So I was hoping to take that road towards Madikeri from somewhere around here. And when I asked that forest official that was standing guard over there, he also told me there is a road from here to Madikeri. You can go through that road. But after reaching the Chiklihole Dam, I came to know that there is one bridge on that road which I think collapsed or washed away sometime before, the day before or something like that. And so I couldn't go through these roads. One of the main reasons for me to come to Madikeri, to this Western Ghats area, is to ride through these kind of roads. There is nothing over here, just forest on two sides, very narrow road, very less traffic. And one reason is that this road is only going to the reservoir area. So that is the one reason for very less traffic. But if you take these kind of interior roads, there is very limited populated areas, and so very less traffic, and a very beautiful ride through these kind of forested areas. The Chiklihole Dam Reservoir site is not very enchanting or not so beautiful. It is not very magnanimous like other large or huge dams. It is a very small dam, very small restriction on the Kaveri River. You'll get to know when you reach there. The main reason I went there is because this place is free and I wanted to take that interior road to go to Madikeri. Also, it is towards the evening and I wanted to reach Madikeri by tonight. The site of the reservoir and this dam is slightly inaccessible. Like you have to go around 15 kilometers from the main road area, and you have to go through these forested areas, and that is the reason why there is very few people here. Only I think 3 or 4 cars and very less people even in those vehicles. So it is kind of a very desolate, isolated place. Not many people come here, and that is one advantage of these kind of places. So this is the dam. There is nothing much to see here. It is kind of a restriction on the river, and there is a kind of a large lake formed as a result of the dam restriction. Now, one of my main reason for this entire tour or this ride program through the Western Ghats, to start from Western Ghats, is to have a monsoon ride. That is riding in the rain, riding in the rainy season during the monsoon period. It is not yet the start of monsoon at this place. Now I went here, I think it was about 22nd of June or 2019, and the rains have not yet started in Karnataka. It has already started in Kerala, my home state. So that was a time when I started from Ooty. When it started raining in Kerala, I started from Ooty. I'm almost reaching Madikeri, where it is going to be, I think, a very good monsoon period. So when I reached here, there is already the rain clouds. The dark clouds are forming on the horizon. And this day I reached Madikeri. Even by towards the evening I reached Madikeri. And as soon as I reached Madikeri on the Western Ghats, it started raining. So my actual ride or the tour or the idea of the tour or the entire experience of this monsoon ride is starting from the next day onwards. That is from tomorrow onwards, from when I reached Madikeri, and I'm going to a lot of different places, mainly those waterfalls and naturally beautiful forested areas through the hills and mountains, those winding roads and all those things. Anyway, this is the Chiklihole Dam Reservoir area. The most important thing is that it is kind of a forested area preserved in its natural beauty, nothing artificial apart from this dam itself. Now, when I was coming here, I wasn't expecting too much from the place because people had told me there is nothing much to see here. There is no point in going there even. So that was the advice from people whom I asked. Anyway, I came here because I thought I could go to Madikeri by taking a interior road from here. This seems to be kind of a very old dam because there is no other facilities or no other infrastructure like any power project or anything. Even there are no shutters or gates for the dam. Like when you go to a dam, you expect these huge gates, those shutters to open up to let the water flow from the dam to the other area. But there was nothing like this, just this part. On one end of the dam, there is this open area, and whenever the water level rises above that place, the water automatically flows from one side to the other side. So that is it. I think there is nothing much else to see here. And even here there is the water level is low because it is almost the end of summer season. So no rain has yet come to this place, and that is the reason why there is very less water in the dam reservoir. Also, you cannot go to the reservoir, like you cannot enter the reservoir or take a bath or do a boating or anything. If there was those kinds of activities, it could have attracted more tourists. But the guard over here told me that there are crocodiles in the reservoir, so you cannot go into the reservoir area. The good thing about this place was that there is very less people here. I came, I think, towards the afternoon, and there was only like 4 or 5 people at the dam site itself. Although there were like 4 or 5 cars parked over there, there was nobody to be seen on the dam itself, on the dam site itself. So that was one advantage. And of the 3 places that I went to today, that is of the Namdroling Monastery, then Kaveri Nisargadhama, and this one, Chiklihole Dam, the most attractive place for me, or the most interesting place for me, was this one, the Chiklihole Dam. In spite of the fact that it is not very beautiful, not very enchanting, nothing out of the ordinary. The reason is that very few people over there, very less tourists, and very less touristic activities. It is not a commercial place. It is not yet commercialized. And other thing is just this ride through this road. Nobody else, just the people coming to this dam. That is the only traffic you will get on this road. It is not very long ride. It is maybe about 2 or 3 kilometers just after the place from where the forest guard was standing. But that itself is giving that kind of experience, that enjoyment, to take out your bike and go for a ride. Just this beautiful road. The other places are also not very bad. The Namdroling Monastery and that Golden Temple is slightly bit, I think, commercialized. It is quite different from the other kind of monasteries and Buddhist temples that I've been to, like the ones I went to Nepal and the one in Gangtok when I was in Sikkim. I think you can expect a kind of a different atmosphere when you go to a Buddhist temple, but I somehow didn't get it in the Namdroling Monastery. And the Kaveri Nisargadhama, it is again kind of, I think, commercialized place because of the cottages and the large number of tourists coming to that place. Its forest kind of atmosphere is there, but that is mostly commercialized. Anyway, those are the 3 places which I went on this day, and now I am planning to go back to Kushalnagar, and from there to go to Madikeri and reach Madikeri towards the end of the day. So I reached Madikeri towards the night. I was there for about 1 day, and my actual ride starts from Madikeri. So at Madikeri I went to a few waterfalls, some of the old historical places, and one main place I went was at a viewpoint. I'm not sure about the name of the viewpoint, and the advantage or the interesting part was the ride from Madikeri to the top of the viewpoint. The route was very difficult. It's kind of a steep climb to reach the top, and that was the interesting part of the ride. It was a very difficult ride and kind of adventurous. So those are the things which are coming up in my next video vlog. My tour of Madikeri, especially this ride to the top of that viewpoint. So you are seeing a preview of my next video, and I'm going to end this video just about here. I hope you liked this one. If you liked it, then please press that like button, and also try to support me by subscribing to my channel. I'm going to give a link to my next video just about here, the one on the right side. Thank you.